And this time, if it's not found, not only will I be surprised, I'll also be a little disappointed. But lest you future players think, oh, I'm an easy negotiator, just remember, history is merely an indicator of what might happen in the future. PB&J and potato chips, my God, waiting for you back at camp.
That's right. Survivor 42, episode 8. You better be wearing a seatbelt if you're not driving. Is over. But we're just getting started here tonight on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting. I'm Dave Mader, joined with my brother Jeff Mader to break down this episode tonight, streaming live here on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch, or you might be listening to us on the audio version. Wherever you're getting us, we're glad you're here. And as we see tonight, Chanel gets voted out of this game, becomes the first member of our juror on day 16 of Survivor 42. It was a toss-up. It might have been Romeo. It might Marianne was kind of in the running here. As we see Tori win individual immunity, second time in a row, beating Jonathan again, even though he came pretty close to this one. There was a couple other twists thrown in here tonight, including Drea finding another advantage. They're doing the hidden buyer beware advantage under the bench. He was saying, I'm going to be pissed if they don't find it this time, because I can't remember who sat on that bench last season and didn't get it, if you recall, Jeff. But this is how it goes. And the other thing they returned from the season was, okay, guys, you can have Rice if X number of you sit out of this immunity challenge, but don't think he's soft. Future Survivor players, he ain't soft. That's not how Probst rolls. So he says. So, Jeff, what was your take on this episode tonight? Episode 8 of Survivor 42.
I thought certain people shined and other people did not. I think Drea really shined tonight, with the whole getting the advantage, the knowledge of power, which I think is. I remember, I forget, it was the girl that got to like the final 4 or whatever last year, 4 or 5, and she got taken out. Liliana, or what was her name?
You were talking in 41?
Yeah, last year. She had the same power and she used it early. It was earlier than the merge, I thought, or maybe it was right at the merge. Maybe it was at the same time.
Well, yeah. No, you're talking about with Xander, right?
Last year, yeah, but it was used by the girl that was kind of attracted to Xander.
Who was kind of attracted to Xander. Yeah, hold on. Let me just pull that up. I know I have that clip where the knowledge is power. Where you ask them, they have an idol, you can have it.
No, you can have this fake one. He says.
No, but
right?
You can have this fake one. Was it Sydney? Was that who it was? No. I'm just trying to remember like the name of that wasn't.
I think her name was like Liliana or something.
Leanna,
yeah. I was
yes,
close enough.
Leanna. And if I just go there on the board, I'm sure it's there. Where is it? Leanna and Xander.
So I just have one question for one player. Do you have an idol, Xander?
No, but you can have this fake.
Drea won't play it this dumb. She'll be a lot smarter than this.
No, that was like a perfect storm of things that happened in 41 but it was fun. The knowledge of power twist I kind of enjoy. This one was done a little differently, Jeff, with the whole you had to pull it out of a bucket of red paint. You're be caught red-handed right next to the water well. Interesting twist. I thought it was interesting how Tori picked up on that, and was like, "You got blood on you." More scrutiny than was given to High early on in that challenge, where he came back covered in fake blood. And Lydia was very concerned. That ended up actually causing more of an alliance between those two, if anything. But Tori, very observant, and I think that Tori is an interesting player in this game because you see, that moment where she picks up Andrea, kind of trying to play it off. And the other thing too was, her individual immunity tonight, and she's kind of like, Do you think that the Blue Tribe, like the surviving members, like Roxroy, Andrea, and I guess Romeo even, are kind of regretting that they didn't cut her earlier on?
I don't know. Maybe for just like the idol wins, like I could see that. But Tori's one of these players that is kind of like a wild card player, which she will play in the middle. And if they used her right, they could really, control the game. But because there's animosity built, just like you saw kind of tonight with Mike and Chanel, it was just like there was animosity, and we don't like this person, and that's why she went home. And it's kind of like, ugh, like, you know, I don't know. I just thought there was bigger fish to fry, as Jamil would say, than Chanel tonight. Like how the hell does Jonathan's name not even come up? And I have Jonathan in the draft, not even talked about.
I think you have to look at Mike in this equation, and I think that he seems to have a tremendous amount of agency and sway in this game at the moment for whatever reason. Like they're really kind of digging Mike, or at least enough people are that it's kind of going his way. It came to. I thought that maybe Romeo was the smarter vote out here based on what they were showing us in this edit tonight. Drea says paranoid like a bitch. What are you doing, Romeo? And Romeo, because those two were pretty tight in the former Blue Tribe before the pre-merge. Now, not so much. Drea's found new life. She's got new allies, and High. We see Romeo throws a lone vote on High here tonight. Kind of just screw you, High. You stole Drea from me. Like I don't know. I think that I would probably rather have gotten Romeo out, if I was just an objective member of that alliance, like because he's more likely to be effectual. I don't think Chanel is going to be very effectual, like sort of, or well, she won't definitely now. She's now the first juror, but she's definitely persuasive. She's a lawyer, right, in real life or something like that. Got to look at what her gig is, but like she's from like New York City. She's persuasive, but I don't think she's necessarily the biggest threat here. Now they said they wanted Tori out, right? Like Tori was kind of like,
it seems kind of like the Orange Tribe is strong, and that's 4 people strong, right? And then we have the Green Tribe, which was it's everybody, but sorry, who's on the Green Tribe?
it was High,
Drea?
Chanel, High,
right?
High, Chanel, Daniel. No, not Daniel. Daniel's gone. So Mike. It's only the 3 left. It's only Mike, Chanel, and High left. And now Chanel's gone, so it's only High and Mike left.
Right. Are High and Mike? They're voting together, but are they aligned? Like
we never see them. Well, they kind of were speaking a little bit here in the end of the episode with Jonathan. They were kind of like, because after it gets around that Romeo was the sort of deflection vote for Chanel. That's who they told Chanel they were going to vote for. And somehow that eventually gets back to Romeo. Romeo starts kind of scrambling, going around causing chaos, in High's words here. And that, ultimately almost gets him voted out here, at least gets a few votes. Marianne puts a vote on him tonight, and a couple others. And so, like High and Mike, I guess so. But, like all of those Orange members are still there. All of the Blue Tribe is still there, but they're not really together. Like Roxroy, Romeo, Drea, and Tori are kind of 4 free agents, it seems like. And I would say that the Orange Tribe, the former Orange Tribe, we have, Jonathan, Lindsay, Omar, and Marianne being sort of like the expendable one, I think, maybe,
right,
of that group. But
that's actually like a good thing that like they're making Marianne take all the bullets, because they know Marianne has like she has advantages, right?
Marianne has an idol and an extra vote, maybe.
Yeah, I think she has 2 things, and like the thing is, like, if I'm in her alliance, I'm like, like let her take the bullets, and then if we actually think it's gonna occur, then that's when you play the idol. But the thing is, now it's who Drea has so much power in this game now, Dave, because of this steal the knowledge thing or whatever. Like it didn't go smoothly last year, but this year it was pretty like, okay, Dre's got an idol, Marianne's got an idol, Mike's got an idol. I know this for sure. They're not giving up their idols. There's no way. There's no, like, you know what I mean? It's very straightforward. Like Drea literally tonight could have went, I'm using this advantage, and hey, Mike, you have an idol.
Right.
Boom.
Well, she has the secret idol, right? Or like the activation idol, whatever you want to call it, from the secret phrase. Plus, she has the amulets, and she can technically take that from anybody, right? But she can only use it once.
Plus, she's in the other thing too, right? Isn't she in the the secret twist? Yeah, is that the amulet?
Yeah, the amulet. Yeah, the
Yeah,
High.
yeah.
She shares with High and who's the other one? Is it Tori?
So she's got an amulet, an idol, and a steel power thing,
and an extra vote.
And an extra vote. Oh my god, she literally has everything.
That's right, Sam. She's Survivor rich.
She's beyond Survivor rich. She's a Survivor billionaire.
Yeah, but only if you can use these things to win. Otherwise, they're just
well, I mean, what are we at? It's the final 10 now. He said, she has 4 advantages.
She has 4 advantages. There is only 12 days left. They're past the halfway point in this game, and and they got enough rice now to get through the next 4 days. They're not going to be starving. So I think that you're going to see the strategy and sort of conniving really pick up here. She's well posed. And she did something like tonight where she sat out of this immunity challenge. Well, come on, she doesn't really need it. To be fair, but she even earned some goodwill there, right? And I thought it was interesting. The people who did sit out of the immunity challenge tonight too: Drea, Marianne, Omar, and the fourth was Lindsay. So, but all 3 Canadian residents were willing to sit out. And Lindsay was not from Canada.
We're good people up here, even if you just live here.
We're hungry people, and we're willing to do whatever it takes, I guess, is what it comes down to.
We do the practical. We think practically, it's just what makes sense. I don't know. Marianne was not convincing with her little act. I'm
using emotion to.
This girl thinks she's so much smarter than she is. When she kind of says stuff like that, I'm just just she keeps talking about being herself, and in a way, when they're excited and their eccentricness, yes, she is. But when she starts talking about her place in the game and how good she is, and so I'm just I don't see a lot of self-awareness, because to me it's not coming across that way. What about you?
I agree. I think that Marianne tries to spin it. I think she has these emotional breakdowns at time. I get you're hungry, you're tired, it's rough to play Survivor no matter who you are. Even if you're Jonathan, with his different caloric needs, as he mentioned here tonight. Where's my Jonathan quotes?
I probably eat 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day.
Right.
Right.
Normally 250 pounds, and I work out all the time. And on an average, I probably have 400 calories a day out here.
Yeah. So they're all hungry. I get it. And she, but I think she's always trying to reconcile what happened earlier, these emotions, when she was somebody needs to sit out. We need to get this rice. And she's I used that to my advantage. I was playing it up. I don't know if I was fully with it. Sam wants to know, Jeff. Oh. Is your daughter watching Survivor yet?
She was there while we watched it, if that counts. I was lulling her to sleep.
She hasn't learned English yet, so it's a little bit,
But she understands Jeff Probst. I mean, all you really got to do is listen to the inflections. It's what? Tasty barbecue. This is what we got for you. And just
PB&J and potato chips.
Oh my God.
Waiting for you back at camp.
Waiting for you back at camp. I love the way he talks. I will copy his cadence and start talking to Prudence that way when I'm trying to get her to go sleep. Tasty pineapple margarita, the pineapple Rita. And you just start doing that. It's soothing.
I think that will work. And you can even use it for when you're mad about things,
You gotta dig deep.
You gotta dig deep.
You can base your entire parenting style around it, right.
You can just go, whatever you need to do something. You gotta dig deep. And just go
Baked potato, all the fixins.
Every
Cake,
time you serve,
cookies, and candy.
every time you serve, like dinner or even like some cookies, you got to do it in that voice, because if you don't, then it's just not as good.
Other question here too from Mary Bass. She says, "Is Lindsay even in the OBJ tribe? Is it unlimited, or is that like a
Object? I think that's supposed to be an image. We can't see it though. Maybe
Is
we can see
Lindsay even in the tribe? I would say yes, but I'm not sure what you mean. And what happened to the game within the game, Jeff?
Oh, there's no
I'm saying
game
here.
within. Is that about Marianne? I mean, no. Right?
There was a
There's
game
no
within the game?
Oh
Oh yeah, because remember they used to show us like there'd be like this like weird little symbol there on like the side, and you could play at home. I guess it didn't do so well, Sam, and I think they stopped if they even did it.
No, I wasn't on that team.
My guess is that they probably shot it for part of this season just because like they did for 41, because they didn't know what was going to work and what wasn't going to work. And that's something that's easy to cut if it wasn't successful.
Right. Yeah.
The puzzles. Yeah. It was like the puzzles. It'd be like, look at this symbol, and there you're playing at home on the Survivor app or whatever. You can bring this in. Yeah, I'm okay with that being going away.
I don't watch the show for interaction. Afterward I'll do interact about it and talk about it, break it down. But during the show, I just want to watch it, because then I get the full experience of these characters, and that's what I'm there for. But tonight, Dave, did you like the challenge? What about Jonathan pulling out the 5 shots in a row?
Oh, okay, I was. What do you make of something like that? He's already a huge target, but he knows he needs like his calories, as he alluded to earlier, right?
Normally 250 pounds, and I work out all the time, and
he needs that stuff. He needs that PB&J. He's not going to be denied it. Like, even I thought in the beginning of the challenge. Okay, I think we should even break that all down, because like the whole thing, they draw rocks. Whoever gets the neutral gray rock gets to sit off. Marianne gets that rock, but Drea says, "I don't like PB&J, Jeff," especially when you say it like that. So
right, PB&J and chips
back at camp, right?
PB&J and potato chips.
Oh my God!
Waiting for you back at camp.
Right,
waiting for you back at camp. I love the way he says that. It's awesome.
Whether you like it or not, it's food, and you think that you would go
actually
for
not
it.
Great. It's really, you want meat and you want veggies. That's really what
you want protein and fat in particular. I think I think just carbs is you're gonna be just hungry later, right? So it's probably gonna give you energy for a bit. And I think for someone like Jonathan, like you saw how motivated he was to get it. So like Drea's decision to switch with that, was kind of a win-win for her, because Marianne got to go on to lose the challenge, basically. Not that it was her fault. I think she did about as good as she could have, right, under the circumstances. But what maybe Drea would have done it a little bit faster, than Marianne.
I think had Marianne sat on that bench, she wouldn't even have found the thing.
I agree. I don't think that. I think that she would have been just watching the challenge. I'm trying to, was it Xander who was sitting on the bench, or was it Ricard or somebody like that?
I think it was Xander, and he didn't find it.
Yeah, right. When I hear Marianne, I think Marianne from Gilligan's Island. Who doesn't? And who's the professor of this group? Omar, he'd be the professor.
He's Muslim, and Mike's like, it's like he never met a Muslim person before.
He's from like New Jersey, like it's not like, it's pretty multicultural up there in like New York City. And
it was funny. He was like, "What is this Islam? Tell me more."
What is Islam? I've never even heard of this religion.
They're not that different than us. Like he said it. Like,
did you know? Yeah. I'm like, it's one of the Abrahamic religions. Are you gonna talk to Lindsay next about Judaism? Or is that okay? Are you more familiar with that?
Tori, she's all super Christian. So you bring all 3 religions together, you have a panel.
Tori and Jonathan, both big Christians.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that just the beginning of the challenge too, with Jonathan and Lindsay going head to head at the beginning, and Lindsay was keeping right up with him, right? But when you see like Jonathan do that perfect dive into the water, when you go to the underwater cameras and you see him like just do like almost like doing the butterfly, like he's like Michael Phelps, right? Like
it's
incredible.
better. He looks like Aquaman. Like
Yeah.
I think DC should call this man up. Honestly,
I agree.
teach him
put him on all the shows, or make him a superhero. Make like a state-sponsored superhero, because I think
he would make. I think Dave, he would make way more sense for Aquaman. You know, like like that was the one thing. Like when I saw some of the Aquaman stuff and they showed them swim, I'm like, that looks so fake, and like But you gotta get real shots and stuff, and make it look really realistic.
Yeah, because because it's like, well, what if you were like Superman underwater? I don't know, like that's kind of weird. Nothing can do that. Not even like a shark can go that fast, or or dolphins, or like pretty fast animals. So it's like, well, okay, but when you see like someone who can really swim like that, and credit to Lindsay, like how much she was really hanging in there with him. He only beat her by a few seconds in that opening leg.
Yeah, no, it was impressive. Yeah, and like the orange tribe is strong. Like Omar was hitting the other baskets, hit the four in a row,
and then because it was Roxroy trying to do it for the other team, and then Jonathan's like, I want that friggin' sandwich. Get out of here, Roxroy. And it just
you're cut for the baseball team.
Five in a row, like boom, boom, boom.
He didn't miss, and the other Omar like hit his first four. It seemed like anyway. At least he got four in a row first.
Yes,
and then kind of had a few. Yeah, he struggled. He missed at least two,
but not by much. He maybe missed like 2 or 3 times. Well, while Jonathan just got out and just did it.
It seemed like he hit 5 shots in a row while they were fishing out 2 missed shots for Omar. That was crazy.
You can hardly blame Omar for that, right? And so
it's taking a while for them to get those balls.
Yeah, like his team, whoever was in the water for that team at the time, was it maybe Lindsay was one of them? But I'm not quite sure. I think Romeo was one of them, and I have to look back on who was on which team for this challenge tonight. Yeah, so I thought the challenge was fun. I thought it was interesting. Obviously Jeff was happy that that thing got found.
And this time, if it's not found, not only will I be surprised, I'll also be a little disappointed.
Not angry though. He never gets angry.
Just a little disappointed.
Just disappointed. Right. I thought you could do better.
But, come on. Don't you think I'm an easy negotiator?
But lest you future players think, oh, I'm an easy negotiator. Just remember, history is merely an indicator of what might happen in the future.
I think you're onto something, Dave. I think Jeff is now playing the character of the cool dad. He's the cool dad now. That's his whole character.
I'm tough but fair, and watch out, guys.
Let me tell you why
the monster may have a much, much bigger appetite.
I knew you were going to get that one. Let me tell you why 6 is a fair number. And then he immediately caves to 4.
He's like, I'll settle for 4, but I want, and like I thought that I thought he was way softer in this negotiation, because even last season he was like, I want 8, all right, and then he eventually settled for 4, and he's like, I'll settle for 4, but I'm going to try to get 6. I think you should try to. I think wasn't it 5 people who sat out in 41? I
think it was 4. I think he's happy with 4. The whole point is to get it to 4.
This challenge was hard enough. Like, you saw how quickly people went out, even the people who chose to actually participate.
Like Lindsay was right. Like, she's like, I know I'm going to suck at this. I'm not going to do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you know you're going to lose it, not like,
But I guess if you're deciding, I want to give rice to them. I want to, like, at this point in the game, we're going to give rice. Then you got to do something. It can't just be a freebie.
I think if I was like not good at the challenges, or like was weaker than some of the main comp, I would be against this, just for the fact that I want them to be hungry. Like, I think Jonathan on a full stomach probably wins that tonight, but like, Tori like needs less calories than Jonathan. He's probably hurting.
Well, he said he's normally 4,000 to 5,000 a day, and he's only getting 400 probably each day in the game. So that's that's significantly less than he's used to.
Right.
So I don't know, like But on the other hand, it doesn't seem to be slowing him down very much,
No.
in terms of his performance.
No.
Yeah, and so like after the challenge, well, we didn't really talk even about the top of the episode when it was kind of like after the vote out of Lydia, right? And they were officially into this tribe. I just want to maybe go to that quickly because like Mike's like the rats, they're scurrying. It was like you shine the light on the rats, talking about I guess Romeo, Tori, Marianne, everybody who got left out of the last vote. And I don't think this was talked about at the top of the episode, but also Omar, who didn't have a vote, that actually worked to his advantage because like all the people who were out of the vote thought he was left out of the vote too. He had plausible deniability. He didn't have to account for his vote at all. And so he was able to kind of get information from the outcasts and form alliances with each one of them. And he seemed to do that effectively. Plus he's in the majority,
Information is the most powerful thing in the game right now.
Well, it always is. But Omar, my draft pick in this, doing well, I thought, and I think that like once they vote out a few of these targets in particular, okay, now that Chanel's gone, I think once Tori's gone and if they're able to get her out, I think that it's going to be interesting to see like will like they start then saying, okay, like we got some pretty big threats here, guys. Like we got Jonathan, for instance, to consider. Why can't Jonathan win this game? For sure he could.
Well, the thing is, like, who's gonna let that guy get to the final four? I guess, right? Like, I mean,
well, yeah, but they might. I guess it depends on when he obviously hasn't won yet, so they can then on that standpoint.
You could have taken him out twice in a row, and they didn't even bring his name up.
No, because Mike likes him. Mike's saying no, we're keeping Jonathan for now. Right now, they have the rice though.
Mike is a very flawed big Survivor player. Like he's basically like he looks at you like your family. He's saying he's throwing these words around like I'll take a bullet for you. Basically, is what he's saying to like anyone he really really bonds with. Right. He's a loyal guy to an 11. Like he really is, and to watch him play the game is like watching somebody play like season 5, it's like that. Like it's that like I'm loyal and he's not fluid. He's just gonna really believe what he believes, protect who he protects. And you're right. He seems to be influencing the way Hai and Drea are navigating the votes right now.
And Jonathan.
Yeah.
And like, well, and obviously like getting Chanel here out was clearly more his influence than anything. At least
that's what Mike wanted.
Mike wanted, and Mike got what he wanted here.
Yeah,
Chanel wrote his name down several tribals ago, kind of for no reason, as he said. It was kind of for a reason, but it was also kind of not.
It was a just in case a shot in the dark got played. That's why she did it.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, it was just in case a shot in the dark got played, Dave. That's why she did it. Why she wrote Mike's name down.
Yeah. It was just in case like there has to be somebody to go. And he was like holding a grudge hard. So he's like he's got like he plays with his heart, Mike, right? And he was like, I don't trust her. I've wanted her out forever. We have to get her out here. I was like, well, you can get her out next time. Like she's not going to gain any allies here, I don't think, Chanel. But on the other hand, Romeo, I don't know. Like I guess you can get him out next time. It depends if he rebounds here or not. Right. After writing Hai's name down tonight, it's not. He's got to have an uphill battle, I think, in some ways.
Who's that? Sorry,
for Romeo, because Romeo wrote Hai down.
Yeah, Romeo got a lot of votes on him. Like he's probably the next to go. I mean, really. I mean, look if it stays the same. He got like how many votes? 3 votes tonight.
Who did? You mean
was it a 5-3-1 vote?
Romeo got 1, 2, 3 votes tonight.
Yeah, and
Hai got
Chanel
1.
Hai got 1.
4, 5, 6 votes for Chanel. 7 votes.
So
for
yeah,
Chanel. 7 votes for Chanel.
7-3-1. That's what it was.
7-3-1. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, there's clearly like, who did Tori vote for? Did you vote for Romeo?
Tori voted for Chanel.
So Tori, yeah, is a wild card. She's not really in that alliance, but she's like navigating it. Like just the majority knows who the majority, is going after, and that's the kind of how Omar explained it today too. Like, like the seven that voted together, I wouldn't say they're in an alliance, but they all voted together, right? We had Tori, Drea, Mike, High. Who else? Do we have them all?
For the Chanel votes,
Yeah, name all the 7 Chanel votes.
Drea, High, Jonathan, Lindsay,
Right.
Mike, Roxroy, and Tori.
Okay. Where's Omar's vote?
Omar's vote went on Romeo.
Okay, and then who are the other 2 votes on Romeo?
Marianne and Chanel.
So those 2 voted that way just to make sure, like they said it tonight, that Chanel didn't play her shot in the dark, and then all of a sudden High goes home. You know what I mean?
Right. It's great for Omar too, because Omar, having voted for Romeo, can still maintain kind of play this both sides thing that he's been doing. Right. He can still have he still has credibility with both sides of the camp, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Right. He's a secret agent.
Yeah, he's in the middle, right? Even though he's saying I guess he isn't good with the majority alliance, and I don't even think he's like the top pick to go. Like if that group win and they do turn on themselves, right? Obviously, Jonathan being at the very top of that list, I would think. I would think Drea too is a target.
Drea's got all these weapons, though. I mean, she sniffs anything coming toward her, she'll be ready. Like I wonder if she saved Romeo tonight, like a little bit. Like I wonder how she's kind of playing her original tribe, or if she's just gonna kind of like lone wolf it to the end. Because I do think I think she's gonna get at least to the final 4. I just think she's got too many weapons and is gonna do well. She's not a dummy. Like she's a smart player that really kind of understands how to navigate the votes and is also good at getting advantages, which is okay. It doesn't hurt when you get toward the end of the game.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's gonna be obviously when we look back on who wins this eventually, and where was this like the right move at this point? Depending on who you're rooting for, I think is going to be sort of a big play here, right? Because like I don't know, like Chanel now really only serves Mike, right? Like who else was this good for to get Chanel out?
Yeah, I just think everyone was like perfect. It's just a number that doesn't matter as far as Chanel seemed like she was completely on the bottom and had nobody to really latch onto.
Yeah. So why not leave her in the game?
That's the thing. But I guess like sometimes when you play Survivor and you just see an easy person to vote out and the majority just goes, yeah, okay, it just whittles down the number one more notch, and then you don't have to worry about that number, especially if you feel good with the people you're voting with,
right. And that's kind of what happens here is I don't know, like that they get her. I guess they're just happy it's not them. They're getting a little bit further in the game, and maybe when you're in that mindset of like, well, as long as it's not me, like the Sandra Diaz Twine kind of philosophy. Anyone but me, I don't care. But Chanel,
Sandra cared.
Yeah, but that's what she always told the camera.
Yeah, she always cared who got voted out.
Right.
And I think that's the thing here. Nobody cared that Chanel got voted out. Nobody was upset. And that's why she went home tonight. It was an easy one to get rid of because Mike wanted her out and nobody really liked her. Like High wasn't close with her. You know what I mean? Like I just think she hadn't had the chance here at the merge. I think she would have bonded with Drea maybe and Marianne, and they're all black women. I think they probably would have bonded. It's on certain level maybe if the game got a little further and they were all in it. But, taking her out, I just think she just didn't have a connection with anybody other than Mike, who didn't like her.
Right. Was just holding a grudge, I think, really, with Mike. He couldn't, like, this whole thing of, like, anybody who ever writes your name down, you just build, like, this sort of mental, like, I have to get them out because they might vote me out or whatever. But, like...
It's an old school mentality.
Yeah. I think you can do better than that, right? Like, is kind of, isn't that the truth?
What? Like that we can do better than what?
Well, like, get over it, and like maybe yesterday's enemy could be tomorrow's ally.
Well, yeah, I mean that's that's true, but you have to be able to look like at who you're going to work with, and if Chanel was going to work with Mike, then sure, and that could have happened. You're right, but I guess he didn't feel that way. So, is Chanel going to fix that relationship? It doesn't seem like she could have.
No,
that's why this person goes home.
It seems like she didn't really try, or maybe Mike was just never going to.
Well, she did say in the episode tonight, Dave, that like I'm gonna play it cool and I'm gonna let other people make targets of themselves. Like that was her DR tonight,
and that almost worked.
I thought it was actually a really. I saw her going home. I'm like, did she really deserve to go home? Like she was actually a good. She actually understood her lot in the game, and so I had to give her credit for that. And kind of understood probably the only strategy she could have done. But sometimes it's like if you don't have agency and you're not willing to make big moves, like Jeff always says, that's when you get cut. So you can't just lay low, like that's and like so I think the game kind of punishes players. I noticed this a lot in Survivor, where the person that's not really bringing it TV wise and kind of gets taken out sometimes.
Sometimes, but sometimes they hang around way too long. Like you remember Heather in last season?
Heather.
I wouldn't be surprised if you don't remember her, because she was like that slightly older lady, like right? Right. It's the 52-year-old from South Carolina who was like, that's what you do, Heather. You always try to get that ball. You never quit. When she was like trying to get like this thing to go up on this post for like 30 minutes or whatever it was. And her whole team was like, come on.
I do remember her now. Yes. She was like final 8 or something, or final 7.
She made it pretty far, actually. She was the 8th jury member, day 25. So she made it pretty much right to the end. Right.
Wow.
But she had like 2 or 1 testimonial in like 9 episodes.
Right. Yeah, they used to kind of like make it even. Now they don't care. They're like whoever's entertaining. And Chanel didn't have a lot. I mean, really, she didn't have a lot of DR.
Like, would you say that was she a bad Survivor player? Like, would you put her in that category based on what you saw?
I think she was a good. I think she could have been a good player here had she not caused beef unnecessarily. I think that was her fatal flaw. She kind of played a little too cutthroat in the merge portion of the game, and when you do that, you burn bridges and it hurts you. And I think that's what happened to her. She needed to play it a lot more diplomatically for the first half of the game, but she didn't do that.
No, I think she was a little headstrong. I got the impression on Chanel.
Just a little too aggressive too early, like I think you can't do that in Survivor. Like it sucks if you get plucked off, especially when it's like a 6-person 3 tribe thing. It's really you play it's too interconnected. With you're only there with like 5 other people, and you get to know each other real well. You know what I mean? Whereas if it's a bigger tribe, it's a little different. When you vote somebody out. Or you right there near now.
Even Drea tonight was like, well, like my mother was here. She'd be telling you, this aren't your family. Like you've known these people for like 12 days or whatever it is.
Right.
But on the other hand, like familiarity, I think is important. And it's often what it is, like your original tribe, I think does matter. Or at least has a little bit, depending on who you are. Obviously, like Drea was willing to cut ties with Romeo, and Roxroy's kind of, I don't know who Roxroy's with. I guess he's still with Drea. And then we saw in the preview for next week, it's like the men have the numbers. Why don't we just get the women out?
Is that what happened in the preview? I didn't see the preview.
Yeah, that's what they kind of alluded to. It was like Roxroy, Mike, and Jonathan were like, why don't we just vote the women out now?
Who went home last week?
Lydia, but she's not a jury member. But
right, so it's been back-to-back women. Yeah.
And for Lydia, it was Daniel. So,
and it probably would have been Tori had she not won the immunity.
It probably would have been Tori. At least that would have been the one. You know, they said good on Tori. She won. You know,
She's doing well.
she's
She
doing
got
well.
the counts. She's
Which-
forgiven. That's tattooed on her arm.
Yeah, it's like a Christian thing. Forgiven.
Yeah, I think she's very Christian.
Yeah. So I think that where do we go from here? I guess is kind of like I keep coming back to this whole like the Green Tribe is really cannibalized itself these last 2 votes. Like the last 3 to go have been Daniel, Lydia, and Chanel, right?
They're
Like,
all green.
They were all from the Green Tribe. So now
And they had numbers.
They had numbers like up until like 2 or 3 days ago in this game.
Yeah, they've been decimated. And the Orange Tribe has stayed strong 4. And then the Blue Tribe is kind of like a mess. It's Drea, Roxroy, Romeo, right?
Yes.
And is
Tori.
that it? And Tori, which they're a mess. None of those 4 are not together.
No, not at all. Where Tori's like exposing, like, did you see the red paint on her hand or on her arm? You know, and you were mentioned last week that Amanda had said, like, just watch, Tori and Marianne are going to become a thing, and you kind of saw that a little bit tonight.
Amanda saw it. She noticed it even before the show started showing it. I was like, how did you see that, Doug? You watch? I was like, really?
Crazy finds crazy sort of thing.
I think they're both kind of kid-like. You know, they both have that kind of view toward the world, and so I think that's kind of like in a social party kind of like dynamic kind of way. So I think that's why they gravitated toward each other.
Well, you know, like how many times are you going to see this thing? Like, I want to be one of the cool kids. I don't like.
Right.
I don't fit. Like Marianne was doing that again tonight. You know?
Yeah. That was part of the thing where I say it's kind of childlike, like where it's like it's very high school. It's very,
Well, she is only how old again? How old is Marianne?
right, but she's dealing with like
24.
Mike's like a 59-year-old man. You know what I mean? Like
Mike's 58. Yeah,
Roxroy's in his 40s or so. You know what I mean? Like know the room, read the room. You know what I mean? Like that's the stuff with Marianne. I think she kind of forgets that like all these people aren't 24 or whatever she is.
Well, she's 24. And to be fair, like the people who are with her in this game are only marginally older than her or are the same age, you know, because the super young people like Swati are gone.
Right. But
like
how old is Marianne? How old is she?
She's at this point in the game, she was 24 and Tori's 25.
Right. So like they're the same age.
Yeah.
You know.
But like Jonathan's only 29. You know.
Yeah, but he's an old soul.
Lindsay's only 31. She's hardly old.
I know, but she is an old soul too, I find. Both
Omar's the same age.
Yeah, the all 3 of those they're older souls. They're not their frat days are well behind them. You know what I mean?
Like we're talking like 3 or 4 years ago or something, you know. Like I guess it matters more when you're younger. Yeah. Like Romeo is actually one of the oldest at 37.
Wow, I didn't know he was that old. What about Roxroy? How old's Roxroy?
Roxroy's 44.
Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's enough people here that are, I don't know. You got to know how you come across. And I find with Marianne, she's like, I found with myself who I am and, and all this stuff. And that's great. But you have to like know when to kind of turn it off, and you have to read other people like as you get older, and it's important.
Yeah. I don't, well,
maybe that's what she's struggling with,
Had like I'd be interesting what was Marianne like 5 years ago,
right?
Like, compared to now. Maybe she's grown.
She was 19.
Yeah, I imagine more energetic.
I would imagine the exact same. I don't think she's dialed it down. Like she's probably amped it up. You know what I mean? Like that's what she's very young soul. Like she's got a lot of energy. She's bursting with talking and everything, right? And that can get you into trouble in a strategic game like this. Like Drea is the one that impresses me the most. Like she knows what the game is going on. She's very strategic. She doesn't put herself out there too much. She has conversations with people in a very calculated way, and it's smart. And like she's playing the game very well, I think. Like complete opposite to Marianne. Drea's to me, like I think she's shoo-in for Final 3.
Yeah, like I don't disagree. Hold on, that message. Okay, so what else is there to talk about in this episode?
Well, there's lots to talk about. I mean, what did you think about? Yeah, like the Tori winning the immunity. Jonathan, he almost came back. I don't know. I think we kind of broke down most of this episode. Anything at the beginning I forgot?
Not really. Like there was like the whole thing at the beginning. The rats are scrambling. Then it was the challenge, and then like Drea finding the red-handed thing, and then we had the immunity challenge itself, the rice thing, and then the vote itself, and like it was compared to like what we covered last week, which was like the 2-hour episode. This was fairly light, and I think it's more about what's coming next, right? Which was all about like, should the guys team up? I'm doubtful that will actually come to fruition. But
yeah, I am too. Because I think certain people like have their girls, you know what I mean? Like Jonathan and Lindsay, they're not breaking up, I don't think.
Well, I don't think that like would be something Omar would want to go for. I don't think he would be going for like all men to the end or something like that. I can't imagine, but maybe, Okay, well, hey, I think we can maybe wrap this one up. We are also talking about Big Brother Canada tonight, so we're gonna just break down, even a quick one over on our other podcast series. Is that season number 10 is wrapping up in the second last week, and there was an interesting veto episode tonight. So if you like Big Brother Canada, check that out. We'll be on in a bit to break that episode down. Jeff, you watch it yet?
I did.
Okay, so we're going to talk that, and then we're going to be back next week for the next episode, Survivor episode 9. It's called Game of Chicken. Jeff, any theories?
No.
It's a game of chicken with Drea's advantages.
I would imagine yes, and also they might eat chicken, so it'll be like a double.
It's a game of eating chicken. Chicken, cookies, the pineapple Rita. It's like Applebee's or something like that, right?
You got the whiskey bacon burger.
Grilled chicken and veggies.
Grilled chicken and veggies.
You should just have all of his food ones all lined up together.
All of it, yeah. You got the whiskey bacon.
Come on.
You got the whiskey bacon burger.
Yes.
You got the whiskey bacon burger.
We'll start with some appetizers.
No.
Crunchy onion rings with honey barbecue sauce. Double crunch bone-in wings, crispy on the outside, tender on the inside.
Wings. They said that together.
Wings.
It's good. It's big. It's Applebee's.
Anyway, all right. So we'll be back next week. Until then, stay strong out there, everybody, and healthy, and all those great things. I don't know what we're missing Jamil tonight. I feel like he told me he wasn't going to make it, maybe, and I forgot.
It might be in the DMs. You should check.
No, nothing yet. Was there like a Raptors game tonight?
Yeah, there's a Raptor game tonight. Yeah.
I think he maybe was going to that. Maybe that's where we're missing him tonight. Okay. Well, anyway, in any regards, we'll come off the air, and I think we'll go out on something from this episode. Until then, see you next time, everybody. The monster will be ready next season.
Next season, the monster may have a much, much bigger appetite.
What does that mean?
I don't know. They have a bigger app. The monster is hungry. Who's the monster?